Yo, yo, yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max&JuanCast. NBA, baby. We back. Max.
It's been a while, man. But I feel like when the Lakers are really sucking, it's hard for us to talk about basketball in front of people.
We suck. Like, we're fucking terrible, bro.
But how are you today, Juan, though?
I am fantastic. I'm doing great. Besides the Lakers getting their ass kicked, I'm all right. We suck, by the way. Just I want to reiterate that. You know what doesn't suck, though? Max&JuanCast. We don't suck around here. We don't fucking out here getting beat by the freaking Raptors, getting blown out. We don't lose to the fucking Rockets in OT.
Oh my God.
Did we get beat by the Suns today or the Raptors?
No, the Raptors. We got clapped up on the Suns yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. So many losses I can't count. But if you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you guys are generous and love us, what you guys probably do, hit that like button. Comment down below. And if you guys are already subscribed, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Audio listeners, we love y'all too. All right. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys get your podcasts. We love y'all. Subscribe on there. 5-star rate us. Do what you got to do. Do the right thing. Max, go ahead and lead the fucking ship, dog. Where we going?
Look, the reason I wanted to talk, man, was one, we've been a little neglectful of the NBA. We weren't really around that much. There was some personal drama, yada, yada, yada. I just want to kind of go through some of the contenders, man. We're not going to talk about every contender. We're not going to get the most detailed out there. But I think it's time we just see what's going on in the league. And let's just get this sorry-ass team out the way so we don't have to talk about them anymore for the rest of the show. How's that? Let's try to keep the Lakers up just to one thing. No Laker tangents about how everyone's beat our ass, including
let's just fast forward. Look, the regular season is going to end, Max, and most likely the Lakers are going to be either the 9th seed or the 10th seed. I'm guessing they're going to be the 9th, and they're probably going to have to play the Pelicans in the play-in game.
We'll play the Pelicans, then we get a chance to play the loser of the 7 and 8 game. But
right.
Look, it's great content. We love doing Laker playing games. You should go watch that video. We had a hell of a game last year.
Yeah.
This Laker team is so freaking bad. I'm so tired of it. I feel like a broken record. That loss to the Rockets. Juan's tried to sell me a bill of goods about how AD comes back. There's Curry, Draymond's hurt.
There's still a chance.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut.
We can still lose all these games.
Stop talking. Don't tell me about having a chance. We're 9-22 on the road. 2-8 in our last 10. Our second best player is who right now?
Austin Reeves.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's how bad it is. And I want to talk about something real quick that no one's talked about. Russell Westbrook's a disaster. That's cool. What the F happened to Kendrick Nunn? We haven't seen him all year, and there's no freaking return date in sight, dude.
Hopefully he returns with AD. He returns with AD, dog. Look, I want to see AD first. Before I pack it in, I know we suck. I want to see AD, okay? I got one more fucking, glimpse of fucking hope. That's it. AD. I want to see how he looks. It doesn't matter how many games we lose. We're locked. We're locked into that 9th or 10th spot. We're gonna be in the playing game, and AD's gonna come back, and maybe LeBron. He did. Let's talk about the positive. 50 points. He is
30K,
he's doing his
10K,
job.
10K too. That's pretty awesome.
You know what I mean? So look, I wanna see AD. We suck. Yes, I do understand that. I want to see AD though. And if he's dominant and him and LeBron got that duo going on, that pick and roll going on, we have a shot. And I feel like we match up well with a bunch of teams. The bad news is, as we transition, those other teams are really fucking good, because the three teams that they're going to have to wind up playing most likely is either the Suns, the Grizzlies, or the Warriors. And newsflash, Warriors tonight finally got back Draymond. So that's wishful thinking. They're probably going to get back on track with Draymond. The Suns, they're missing probably their most valuable player. Oh, wait, he's probably not that valuable now because they've been doing just fucking fine. And the Grizzlies with Ja Morant, I mean, we're seeing literally Derrick Rose fucking MVP type season from him. But the thing is like the Grizzlies are still very fucking good besides Ja Morant, but no one talks about them.
Who would you say are the real contenders of this conference? I would say the Suns, Warriors, Grizzlies. Man, I don't think there's any. I don't want to say the Jazz. Jazz are a step below.
I really like Denver just because how fucking amazing Jokic is.
Well,
their team is just not that good.
Let's throw them in here for the sake of conversation. Let's start with them. If they get back MPJ, wishful thinking, and Jamal Murray, who everyone's saying coming back, and I understand, dude, it's tough when you're gonna say, "Hey, you just tore your ACL. We need you out there to play in the toughest games of the year." Right. Can't really expect
them to be Bubble Murray.
Exactly. And well, actually, just down 3-1 Murray in the bubble would be more specific. Yeah. But it's just kind of tough to ask that of a guy. I wouldn't want to ask that of anybody. But Jokic is the best player in the West.
He's arguably the fucking best player in the league. Fuck the West.
I feel like he can't really be solved. I know they had a really tough stretch. I think they played like 6 games in like 9 days, and the Warriors got him. But it's like the regular season's a grind. This guy doesn't have any help. I know Aaron Gordon's there, Monty Morris. They have some solid pieces, but when you're missing 2 out of your top 4 players, it's real tough sledding, man. But they've continued to impress me, and this is what's pissed me off about. I don't want to say the team name because I said I wouldn't mention them after this, but the teams we're talking about, they freaking play hard one. They're young. It's like, damn, they're just going to – like the Grizzlies are going to be good next year. A certain team who sucks, who we won't name, is going to probably be bad next year. And just there's so much uncertainty, and it's with all these teams is certainty, Juan. It's like, damn, they're good. They have building blocks.
How about this, Max? If they win the play-in game, that's when we can say their name. For now on, we cannot say that bad team's name. We can't mention them. Okay?
Can we say that team's name if it's preceded by F? If it's preceded by F?
No, not at all. Not at all. That team that fucking sucks. We can say that.
Okay, I'm down. Okay, so I just talked about the Nuggets. You want to add anything before you get to another team?
Low-key, you know how I like to fucking, crisscross sports? Am I crazy for thinking that, like, Jokic is kind of like Josh Allen in the improvement standpoint? Like, this is the guy you called a fucking hog at one point. Like,
he's still a hog. I meant it like in a good way. Like, if I needed a 90 center, I'd probably pick Jokic or Embiid. Yeah. Like, them boys are just like hosses, bro. They're big.
It's crazy. It's crazy the improvement that he's done. Like, he's come a long way, man.
He's never going to be the guy that's like, damn, don't attack the basket. There's Jokic. But he's made vast improvements. There's no denying that. Like, there was times where I was like, is this guy going to get played off the effing court? And I would say in the bubble, AD kind of kicked his ass, but maybe that's just the whole Lakers thing. But
hey,
I didn't say team. I said a player. I said a player. Don't try to play me like that. Oh, no, I said it. Fuck.
You said it. I was about to say, I was like, are you
That's the old team. That's the old team. I can talk about like the Showtime Lakers. I can't talk about this piece of shit team that there is now. I'm sorry. That was bad. Edit that out. But it's like what I love about Jokic one, it's just like we can throw a double team at him. We can try to trap him. It's like I'm 7 feet tall. I'll throw the ball over you, kind of like Josh Allen. It's like, damn, okay. You push my center into my face. I'll just freaking throw it over him. No problem.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy the amount of improvement he has done. Because I remember you specifically telling me about him. The first thing you said to me was like, Dude, this guy's like really good. He has like really good potential on the offensive side, but I fucking hate him on defense. And me and you, we're just, as basketball fans, we like two-way players. Like, we just like guys that play both ways. And you're like, bro, like, it's not even that he's bad as far as like his technique or something. It's just like he's a fucking hog. He's out of shape. Like,
it's just
play
limitations.
defense.
Like, he ain't never gonna have a 40-inch vertical to like contest shots at the rim. Yeah. But I'll never forget what Pat told me, and Pat, whose cousin played on Denver, was in the league. He was watching Jokic in practice, just cooking up, just like killing everybody. He goes, "Damn, who is that white boy?" And his uncle goes, "That's my nephew," or his brother goes, "That's my brother." He's like, okay. And he's like, this guy's gonna be good, dude. I mean, straight up. Remember like all the memes when he won MVP of like him without his shirt on? It was just like the little kid memes.
Yeah.
Like it's just uncanny, dude. And it's just special to watch him play. Like big men aren't supposed to do the things he does. Like we could talk for an hour about how good Jokic is. But like I said, he's the best player in this conference.
And kind of, yeah, and I'm pretty sure they beat Philly tonight, right?
I believe they did. So that's what I'm saying. So like when LeBron was the best player in the East, it was like whatever team he had a chance. Yeah. Does Jokic give this team a chance to be a contender?
Yeah. He's that good. And it's a shame because one, he's a center, and two, he's not the best personality, which I think he does have a great personality. Like if you dig deep, it's kind of like the Giannis thing, like Giannis. I don't think people knew how to like advertise him, but Giannis is a character. Like Giannis is funny. Like, he's a cool guy. Same thing with Jokic. Like he likes to joke.
But they're mean though, too, in a sense. Like when Markieff Morris like touched him up.
Yeah.
Jokic knocked that fool out for like 5 months with like a spine bruise, which isn't right. But hey, you hit him first, bro. Don't turn your back. That's all I'm gonna say.
But yeah, most definitely, man. Like he right now is easily a top 3 player in the league. Right now, if I had a gun to my head, I'll probably say Jokic, Giannis, and there's a guy that KD. There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Those 3 guys.
Out of the Suns, Grizzlies, Warriors, Nuggets. Nuggets are in the least like faith you have in them just because of the injuries, or you have more faith in them than other teams in that?
I gotta see it with Jamal, like you said. That's what scares me. I don't really like their team as a whole. If that, like, when it comes to the playoffs, you got to have at least 2 guys that can get a bucket on like at will, and that's what
we kind of saw last year too in the playoffs. It's kind of like, damn, you just don't have enough right now.
Exactly. And with the Warriors, sometimes you need that third guy. Like with the Bucks, like Drew Holiday was that third guy at times.
Yeah, exactly. And I was gonna say with the Warriors transitioning a little bit into them, it's just they have Curry, they have Poole, who can kind of get hot for stretches. Klay Thompson, look, I know he went off against the Bucks at 38, but let's still pump the brakes because he hasn't been good. And that's not a criticism. That's just a fact. And it's hard to expect a guy to recapture his form after missing 2 years of basketball in just a couple months.
And you mentioned,
if you get anything positive out of Klay this year, it's just like, damn, next year, watch out. Yeah. And I think this Warriors team is good. It's going to really depend on Draymond's health, especially when you have a back injury. You're going to be a little scared, especially Draymond, who's 6'7", is 6'5" or something. He's battling against 7-footers, and this team has no size. They kind of should have probably traded for a big, but they still have Wiseman on ice.
Yeah.
I think you can kind of say he's not coming back, though, right?
No, he's not going to come back. He would have been back. You mentioned Jordan Poole, Max, and he's a really great player. And he's one of these guys that just massively improved. Klay's taking away minutes from him. Let's just be real. Like at the cost of trying to get Klay back, he's kind of taking away minutes for Jordan Poole. Like it's less time for him on the floor. And I think right now, safe to say, I'd rather have Jordan Poole on the floor rather than Klay.
But you say that one, and then Klay's like, "You think that, bro? Fuck you. Here's 40."
Yeah, 38.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Klay's greatest skill has never been his offense. It's never been, well, I guess his shooting goes into it. It's been, hey, when I get hot, I'm hotter than maybe anybody in NBA history. Yeah. When I want to score in bunches, it's 60 points in 3 quarters. It's 40 in a quarter.
Yeah.
And that skill is so unique. And when it comes out, it's come out in big stages. One like Game 6 in OKC on the 2016
A
playoffs when they
good
were down 3-1.
a good nickname for him will be like the ultimate like monkey wrench. Like he just throws a fucking monkey wrench into the fucking game.
I like
It's just
that.
like
It doesn't have a ring to it, but it's a good nickname, I suppose. But this Warriors team, like, it's weird. Like I was saying, it's not like that piece of shit team who plays in the West also. They're good right now. And it's like, hey, we just had the 9th pick. We have this guy named Kuminga who's just some like 6'10" wiry dude who can run and dunk and jump and just so fun
that
to
we
look
can
at.
play small ball with.
Yeah, and then it's like, hey, we have the 2nd overall pick in last draft who still might be very special down the road.
Right. I don't trust them. I need to see him with Draymond. It's hard to see that. That's the biggest component right now. Let's just be real. Draymond's been out since what, early January. They have not been the same. Flat out on defense. Steph is so good on offense. I'm not taking anything away from him, but when they don't have to worry about the other end of the floor because of Draymond and all these other pieces and a guy that can quarterback it, they just don't look like the same team. And the team that we've seen from the first half of the season and probably a little bit before January, before Draymond got hurt, we haven't seen it. Like on the defensive end, they have not been the same. So I don't have much faith if Draymond's not healthy.
Well, I'll wrap it up with this one. Steph Curry, as great as he is on offense, isn't a true point guard. Even in Davidson, it was a guy who runs off screens, attacks downhill. He's really more of a 2 in a 1's body. And with Draymond Green running point, it just unlocks him to be explosive Steph that's going to get 40 in 3 quarters. Yeah. And with him coming back, like you said, we'll see. They're definitely in the talk, but they have something to prove. Whereas the Suns and the Grizzlies, we can get into them real quick. They just continue to be wood chippers to any team in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're complete, man. They're complete, and they've showed it without Chris Paul. And I think last year, them missing Chris Paul for the Lakers series and multiple games for other big, huge games. And I know in the Western Conference Finals with the Clippers, like Kawhi was out too when Chris Paul was out. But still, they still had to play big games without him. And I think that was the best thing for them, man. And it showed this little stretch without him because they're just on a roll, dude. They don't miss a beat. And come playoff time, I can't see really anyone in the West until proven otherwise that can beat them. Like, I have faith they can beat the Warriors, and I have faith they can beat the Grizzlies. Now, the Grizzlies, on the other hand, they're at that little baby stage right now. Like, they're good. Don't get me wrong. Like, Jaren Jackson, your boy, has kind of answered the bell. Like, I really like what he's been bringing to the table this year. But let's be real. They're young as fuck, bro. They're babies. Like, I don't expect them to go to the Western Conference Finals. I see them second round at most.
Well, last year they went against Utah, really without JJJ. And they kind of gave Utah some fits. Ja had like a 40-point game. They knocked off the Warriors in the playing game, who everyone picked the Warriors. This team's been a little battle-tested, but it's different now. It's like you're the top dog. It's like, hey, now teams are going to try to come at us with that hunger and try to kill us instead of maybe taking us a little bit for granted. And the way it's going to go down, if they play the Timberwolves, who have been surprisingly competent throughout the year, I would say that'll be a fun series. They should probably win that. But then they get matched up with a team like Utah or maybe Dallas. It's like, I don't really want to deal with them.
Man,
maybe the Utah you do because the Gobert is just a liability in all facets. Go small ball with Jaren Jackson. But Ja, he took a leap this year. He's propelled them just like Chris Paul propelled the Suns last year. And both these teams are just complete teams. It's like, man, we have 10 guys we can throw out there. There's no one on their team. It's like, oh, that guy has to play 15 minutes.
Right.
It's just, damn, that guy's really good. Cameron Payne's really good. JaVale McGee, solid backup center. DeAndre Ayton, maybe the perfect big in basketball for what they use him as. It's like, hey, you need like a all-star at his role or a superstar at his role of, hey, I'm going to shoot 90% from the field because all I take is little dump-offs. I'm going to hit the offensive glass hard. And then sometimes I'll shoot my little mid-range jump shot. Yeah. It baffles me when people don't realize this dude was the first pick in the draft as billed as, hey, this guy can score in the post. He can be unstoppable. but they don't use him like that. They're like, hey, just do all that dirty work for us, and then when we need to, we'll like pencil it in for you. And without Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton's answered the bell just like Jaren Jackson has.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what the Grizzlies point with their coaching. Let's see how many guys do play in the playoffs. Do they stick to their guns and they play a full 8-man rotation, or they're going to wind up following the lead with playoff time? The good teams, at least, they shrink down to what, Max? 7 guys at the most. It's usually about 6 guys.
I would say about 7. And if you really get into it, maybe games 1 through 3, you'll bring out that 8th guy. But the one thing that's cool about the Grizzlies and the Suns is, hey, it's like, hey, do we need bigs right here? All right, JaVale, you get in for 15 minutes. Hey, we need to go small. All right, we're going to bring in Jay Crowder and Cameron Payne and Cameron Johnson, Torrey Craig, whatever. They always have these guys that they can match everything instead of like teams who sucked and are ass can only play one way, really.
Yeah. And obviously you're talking about the Suns, but you say Grizzly, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I mean both teams though. It's like, okay, we need Brandon Clark to play small ball 5. We got it. It's like we can match whatever they're doing. We can make them play like us.
Just have a bunch of tools on their tool belt. Like they can
it's
go
like,
anywhere.
Man, we have to build a shelf. It's like, okay, we have a million different tools. And with teams that suck, like, all we have is a hammer. How do we do this? It's just like this is how I feel, man.
Like that team that sucks.
Yeah, whatever that team's name is.
Let's move on to the East. Let's give a couple.
Before we do, can I say one quick thing?
Yeah,
can I say one? I just wanted to hit on the Timberwolves just for a second and get your thoughts. I know Cat had 60 today, but dude, they're 40 and 30. We both took the under on them. Do you feel pretty dumb right now?
Not really. I mean, it's about damn time. It's about damn time with Cat, because we thought the only way that this team was going to be good was if a second-year player in Anthony Towns took that next step. And that's why we picked the under. We're like, most likely that's not going to happen in year 2. Even John Morant.
Ant.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Anthony Towns. I was like, who's that?
No,
he's been good. He's fallen off a little bit because of an injury the second half. But I'm excited to see what that team does in the playoffs. Like you said, it's about damn time. You pulled your big boy panties up without Jimmy Butler. You became a winning franchise. They bought into the coach, Chris Finch, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's working out. I got to give them their props, bro. They earn their stripes for sure.
Yeah. Shout out to the Timberwolves jersey I always be wearing. Shout out to KG.
Shut up. Shut your stupid face. Right, let's go to the East and hit some of the teams.
Look, most hated player that I can remember, not because he plays for a team that I hate, James Harden. I fucking hate James Harden. I hate him. I really do. And I can't think of a player. It's because how good he is. Like, I don't like him. I hate his facial expressions. I hate the way his body language is. Like, everything about the guy, the fact that he quit on 2 teams, like I can't stand him, dude. And I was so fucking happy that Brooklyn beat the shit out of them. I was so fucking happy, man. Even though Kyrie's a weird dude, he can still fucking ball. And I love the fact that Kyrie Irving came out, clamped that man up, dropped some buckets on him, and beat the shit out of the Sixers, dude. And KD just showed why. Like, there's levels to this shit. And you know what? Shout out to us, Max. Yes, shout out to us. We've been saying it. Shout out to the Sabonis video. When it comes down to late game, we don't like how Embiid kind of handles it. Like, when it comes down to, like, the fourth quarter, I don't like the shot selection that Embiid takes. And it's just decision-making in a whole. And combining that with James Harden, I think it's just a big-ass, it's a fucking shit fest, bro. Like, I don't know what they're going to do in the fourth quarter.
They really don't have a closer. And I know everyone thought Harden would come in, but tell me, when has Harden ever stepped up in a big game? And I think we've done the Harden and big game thing, whether it's Kawhi Leonard-less Spurs and he vanishes 2 for 10 or whatever it is. I was happy. I don't like the Nets particularly. I love KD. I like Kyrie, but I don't really love their team. I was rooting for the Sixers before the trade because I was like, damn, they're fun. They got Maxey. They got Seth Curry having the best year of his life. But, dude, the Nets came out, like you said. I don't want to overreact to one game because they've looked pretty good. But they came out, and it was kind of alarming. It's like, y'all supposed to play a little up. Like, it's cool if you lose that game by 10 points. It's cool if you lose that game by 8 points, 2 points. You
KD
can't
and
go out
Kyrie.
there.
KD and Kyrie came out with playoff intensity.
Yeah, you can't go out there and
bat.
get your ass kicked for 3 quarters, bro. And then your best player pouting, looking out of shape, typical James Harden. Or not your best player, but the guy you traded for who's going to change everything out there pouting, taking shitty shots, not getting the job done. And I know people, like you said in the other video we're talking about with Amari Cooper. Shout out to that video. Y'all should watch it with the NFL free agency. There's going to be guys like, look at his stats. Look at Harden's stats. He averages 37 a game. In the playoffs, man, this dude vanishes. Every fucking year he's quit on his team. Not quit. Every year when it's when the chips are down, he's kind of vanishing.
Nowhere to be
when
found.
They came back against
I would argue, Max, Paul George has a better reputation than James Harden.
Playoff J and playoff P, man. Two peas in a pod, I guess. But no, I'm serious. Like, even when they came back against the Clippers 3-1, that fool's on the bench. Biggest fucking playoff moment of your life. Your team stepped up without you, the superstar. Imagine saying, man, Michael Jordan's on the bench. His team came back without him. That never. No one could ever imagine that. Kobe, LeBron. No, that's not what happens. It's just when you combine two guys who don't really have a track record of getting it done. Like, to me, Jimmy Butler's a better fit with Joel Embiid. I trust Jimmy Butler more in the clutch than I do James Harden.
They haven't had a closer since, and it's not a coincidence that that's the closest they got was when they had Jimmy Butler. And look, Embiid, I'm not saying Embiid doesn't shy away from the spotlight, and I'm not saying he has bad games. Like, his track record as far as like big games, he hasn't done terrible. It hasn't been like James Harden, like, but in the regular season and in the playoffs, when it comes down to slowing down the game, like for instance with the Lakers, like with Shaq, to slow down the game, like big man fucking closed it out at times if Kobe wasn't hitting his shot.
And it just seemed like the Nets had a game plan for kicking their ass. Like, KD said some shit post game about, I'm sure everyone it's been the talk of the town. Everyone's reported he was talking shit about their defense, and he was right. They got run off the court. Matisse Thybulle can't guard 5 people by himself.
Yeah, and everyone leaves him open because he can't shoot.
Yeah, exactly. It's 4-on-5, and then it's 5-on-0 on the other end. You need to get your act together for big games. I don't care if you beat Detroit by 5. I don't care if you beat the Hawks by 10.
Beat the Knicks by 20. No one cares.
Exactly. I need you guys to step up. And for the Nets, doesn't matter they're an AC. No one wants to see them. If I'm the Heat, I don't want to see the Nets at all in the first round.
They got arguably the best player in the world, man. And it's still Correct. KD.
It's like you said, like we said about LeBron. Doesn't matter who the team is. You have the best player, and you have another top 15 player in Kyrie. And it looks like Kyrie's going to get to play the majority of the games because they're going to be on the road every effing round. So that's probably a good thing for them.
And that's so stupid, man. Just on a side note, it's so dumb how this whole situation with that. It's just really dumb. It really is.
It is. Where to next one?
Let's talk about the Bucks. They've been getting hot lately. Were you close to jumping off the ship with the Bucks?
No, it's just this is a flip the switch team. When they need to, they'll flip it, and that's what they're going to do. That's really all I have to say about them. Giannis might win the MVP. He's been amazing. I loved him. I love his attitude. I love the Bucks. They got Brook Lopez back. Let them just flip the switch. They have nothing to play for. They've done it all. They've gone on the road. They know what it takes to win a championship. And they're second in the East. Not like they're playing like a team that sucks.
Right. Let's talk about 2 more teams, and we'll let you guys go. I want to talk about the Heat, and then we'll finish off with the Celtics, who are really interesting.
Ooh, I like that. That's what the teams I was going to pick.
What you got to say about the Heat?
Should we talk about Heat culture?
I mean, it really is, though. It's a collection of guys. Like, Bam has missed games. Jimmy Butler barely plays. Kyle Lowry barely plays. Like, as a collection, they just have a lot of guys that can just flat out play. Like, Tyler Herro's been having a good year, back on track.
They got
I'm just
Oladipo back one. They got Duncan
Yeah,
Robinson, Max Struss, Gabe Vincent. They got guys who are good.
right.
The only thing I'm a little worried about with them one is, do you see a star? Like, do you think this team can win by committee like they did the bubble? And
Mhm.
I know they're number one in the East. Do they have any like little bit of reminiscence of those Hawks teams that had 4 All-Stars and just got whooped? And I
A
get
little
LeBron's
bit.
not there.
Yeah. No, a little bit. The only thing I really do like is that even though they don't have a superstar, and people get misunderstood with Jimmy Butler. Because Jimmy Butler at one point, when he made the finals, everyone was like, Jimmy. I mean, I was a prisoner of the moment. I love Jimmy. I've always been saying Jimmy. But the one thing that's different about Jimmy, he's not so like a superstar. He's just one of the best closers we've had in the NBA. Like, he just knows how to close out games. He's good at making big shots. So that's really the only hope for them. The only problem with that, he's not the most healthiest dude. And I think the Heat know that, which is a reason why he doesn't play as much. Like, he doesn't play that many minutes. The Heat are like, bro, we don't want you to get hurt. You're so injury prone.
Well, I think that's
But
their team though too. With Bam, like Butler's only played in 47 games this year, and he's
yeah,
been
which is
really good when
crazy.
he plays.
Yeah.
And I will say this one: I don't know if he's one of the best closers we've had, but when it just seems like in a big game, Jimmy
He's
Butler
there.
plays good in. He's there. And he'll make a winning play. It's like, man, I'll block the shot, dive on the floor,
Right.
get the loose ball.
No. That's what I have faith in. But oh man, how are the other guys gonna show up? They have a lot of vets, man. Kyle Lowry, like, am I gonna get the Toronto Kyle Lowry? Like, let's see how long he winds up fitting in, but too tough to tell. The East is so fucking competitive, bro. The East is like, we're talking Brooklyn, and I know they've been sucking, with KD out and all the injuries. It's just crazy that Brooklyn's gonna be an 8th seed. This is the deepest we've seen the East in fucking years, bro. And it's great to
it's really
see.
like the West of old, where you
Yeah.
have like a bunch of 50-win teams. I know there's no 50-win teams, like I understand that, but just in the level of talent and injuries, it's like, wow, the Raptors are the 7th seed. Who the F wants to play them in the first round either?
Yeah.
The
It's
Bucks
crazy,
would be like,
Max.
damn, we have to deal with them. I'd rather play Cleveland. Like, I'd rather be
Yeah.
the 3 seed and play Cleveland right now. No shots at them. They've had a hell of a year themselves.
Yeah.
But for teams like the Heat, the 1st seed, it looks great. They've had a hell of a year. They do it by committee. They play hard. But you don't want to play the Nets in round 1. And I would say the
No.
Heat season so far has been an A+. They've been great with the
Yeah.
injuries they've dealt with the guy they added in Kyle Lowry. If they can get anything out of Oladipo one, that's a wild card for them too. And it's kind of nice to have wild cards sometimes.
No. Yeah, the East is competitive, bro. Speaking of the East, a team that has caught fire and probably has benefited the most out of the trade deadline, the Boston Celtics. What has changed from the All-Star break, basically, and a little bit past the trade deadline?
Well, they had a new coach to start the year, and sometimes it doesn't just click after 5 games. Remember the 2013 Heat with LeBron, Bosh, and Wade?
Yeah,
started out 9-8. Everyone's calling to fire Eric Spoelstra, get Pat Riley.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just takes players to buy in, and they made a trade for Derek White that's just worked beautifully. They traded for Al Horford again, who's been great. Marcus Smart.
He has been fucking phenomenal, bro.
Gosh. Oklahoma City is just a place where people resurrect their careers, I guess, or something. Maybe it was that really long offseason he had where he had to take 10 months off. But
man,
it's just true. They play hard on defense. This isn't an offensive team. They're the number one defense in the league. And they have Robert Williams, who's fun as hell, who's going to jump and try to get every shot and probably going to break his back the way he skies up there with reckless abandon. I hope not. But they're just fun, dude. I hate the Celtics. I hate them.
Yeah, fuck the Celtics. But
they're a good team. I don't know if they're championship bound or contenders. They have a top 5 talent in Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown's been okay. I take that back. He's been good, Jaylen Brown. But I'm still waiting for him to get a little bit better. I don't know. He always kind of leaves me wanting more.
Yeah. On another point on Jason Tatum, I think a big reason why they've had success is that it's rare that your best player is also great on offense and fucking great on defense.
But you wouldn't have said that though last year about him.
But he still has the effort though.
No, I'm saying though, like that's how he's grown. He's like, I'm gonna try to lock people.
Like he's grown that part of his game.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I wouldn't have bet on that starting the year.
Yeah. And he's done a 180, bro. Like he's a two-way player. He's basically like Jaylen Brown on defense last year. What did you say?
Having those two guys makes it really fun for defending. Like, damn, and throwing Marcus Smart and Derek White.
Number one in defense.
Team. I think they're just missing something. They're just missing like one more guy who can kind of get a bucket. And maybe it's Jaylen Brown stepping up in the playoffs that'll like propel them. But they're not going to be fun to play. They're the 5th seed, and I feel bad for the Bulls who had a hell of a year but just can't stay healthy.
Yeah, injuries have plagued them, man.
It seems like they're getting hot at the right time, the Celtics.
Yeah, I thought the Celtics were dead in the water, dude. And all of a sudden they come fucking storming back. It really was that trade with San Antonio. I feel like them getting Derek White was huge. Like it just that and solidifying with Marcus Smart. Because with that whole thing in the beginning of the year with Marcus Smart talking shit about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, talking about guys are just, getting their shots on their own.
Yeah, and everyone's saying they need a point guard. They need a point guard. Right. Marcus Smart's like, hey, I played point guard in college at Oklahoma State. I can do this. No problem.
Yeah, shout out to Marcus Smart, man. He's been playing very well right now. But Celtics are like that whole conference, dude. I would not be surprised. I'm going to name them off right now. Brooklyn, even Cleveland, Chicago, Boston, Philly. Who's another East? Who am I forgetting?
The Hawks,
Atlanta. All these teams. Would you be surprised that any of those teams are in the conference finals?
No, honestly, no.
Even Toronto. Would you be shocked that Toronto's in there?
They'd probably be the team I'd be most shocked by, but I wouldn't be like, damn, this is unbelievable.
Right.
And the Hawks, the Hawks went there last year.
Yeah.
They just can't get their shit together, man.
I would say this, Max. I don't think the East has been this good ever. I think this is the best it has ever been in NBA history, as far as I can remember. I mean, you can even draw back to the 90s. Isn't that a big fucking thing in the 90s with Michael Jordan? The East was weak.
I'm like Rolodexing all the years of just teams in the East, and it seemed like there'd be teams that would pop up, like Indiana, Atlanta back in the day, the Celtics for a few years, but it's never been like, damn, these teams are always good. Like the Warriors have been good for 10 years, basically. You can throw away like 1 year. Spurs were good for 20 years. Lakers were good for, oh, God. Oh, that's an old team, though. I'm not talking about this shit team. They were good for a long time. But I agree with you. This team, the division is really talented top to bottom. Dude, the Knicks, as bad as they've been, they still have talent.
Yeah. Knicks fucking suck this year on the side.
I agree. But they still have good play. Like, they have Barrett. They have Randall.
Yeah. Before we go, we got about 3 minutes here. We'll make it about 40 minutes. Please tell me, have you watched the HBO special on that shit?
I just finished the second episode with my dad right now. They're doing my man Jerry West dirty. But I love the show so far. It's been great. I like the guy that cast to play Magic. He looks just like Magic. He's like has the persona. And I love the guy. I love John C. Reilly playing Jerry Buss.
Yeah. I need to see episode 2. After this, I'm gonna be watching it.
Oh man. Yo, yeah. Jerry West, bro. Savage.
I didn't know he was like that.
I don't think he is. Episode, I don't think he's it is a dramatization. I don't think Jerry West is really that big a drunk.
Yeah. It caught me off guard. I was just like, man, like they played Jerry fucking crazy, man. But I'm loving episode 1. I'm glad that you're watching it too, man. I'm happy to, whenever we talk NBA, we should do a little HBO update on that, man, because it's a great series.
Episode 2, I can't believe you're not caught up yet.
Yeah, well, usually, I'm kind of busy on Sundays most of the time.
Oh yeah, and
so
you
I
haven't
want-
used my HBO Go, right?
No,
Asshole.
I'm not using it. Oh man, shout out to the shit team, bro. If you guys don't know what we're talking, what's the show called?
Winning Time.
Winning Time. If you guys are the fan of the team that sucks right now, that starts with an L, go ahead and watch that on
Because that's
HBO,
all they
man.
take is
I know.
L's.
I know. Go ahead and watch the glory days, all right, when we're actually good. All right. Great series. Okay. But that's gonna do it for today's episode, guys. If you guys are new to the channel, as always, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment down below. What do you guys think? What team that you guys see coming out of the West or the Eastern Conference? Are we wrong? Are we out of our mind? Are we spot on? Comment down below whatever you guys want. We greatly appreciate it. Audio listeners, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys get your podcasts, hit that subscribe button / follow button on there. 5-star rate us. And if you guys are already doing that, don't turn off the video. Get your ass to a computer or on your phone, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Don't be a bucket though. Resubscribe.
Don't be the person that sucks.
Don't be a person that forgets
I'm
to
holding up an L
resubscribe.
for the people who are listening. An L with my fingers because that's all my team takes right now.
Oh my God. All right. We'll see you guys in the next one, guys. Peace.